Hello all, it is of course me, Trollface the Man, and in this video I will be showing how to make an extremely cheap studio box to enhance your mic's recording quality. Whether cheap or expensive, a studio box can help your mic sound better by reducing background noise and helping to eliminate room reverberation that would otherwise make voices and singing sound muddled and hard to hear. I personally use one for doing voiceovers for my videos and voice acting for mods or machinimas. The total cost for the most basic of the studio boxes I will show in this video is less than $8 when you take in consideration the raw material such as the amount of foam used, the hot glue, and an old cardboard box. Though the actual investing price for the materials is about double that because of having to buy much more foam than what is initially needed in order to save a lot of money, but a little bit on that later. So you can see a little preview of what we're going to construct, but I don't want to give it all away just yet. Arguably the most important material we will need for a studio box is upholstery foam or something equivalent. I recommend at least 1.5 to 2 inches thick. Probably the cheapest way to get this is in the form of foam bed toppers. I got this bed cover online for about $13. It's 2 inches by 78 inches by 37 inches, which comes out to about 20 square feet. This equates to a super cheap 65 cents per square foot. You'll also have enough material to make about 3 boxes from it. Now, one thing you might notice is that most foam toppers have ridges in them instead of being perfectly flat. But worry not, the ridges actually will help to dampen the sound even further by both trapping the sound slightly, but more by causing the sound to diffuse better than a flat surface which tends to reflect it directly back. The ideal scenario would have been if all of these ridges were exactly the same, so that way I could have it even, but I will work with what I got. This topper is sold as a twin XL size, but a twin will do just fine too. I got this XL size slightly cheaper than a twin, which is why I bought it instead. Other than the foam, we will need glue. This can be in the form of hot glue, glue stick, super glue, or just about any other adhesive. And even double-sided tape might work well if you try it. And lastly, a humble cardboard box big enough to fit your mic in at least 2 inches back from its opening, taking into consideration the thickness of the foam on the top and the sides we will be installing. And that's it. Well, aside from something like scissors to cut the foam and cardboard with. And a marker and ruler to make lines and measurements a lot easier. If applicable, start by cutting any flaps off the box so you just have an open box that looks like so. Then measure and cut some foam that fits into the top of the box. When done, take your box and flip it upside down to glue the foam in place. Now technically the top and the bottom of the box are subjective in this case, so no flipping is actually necessary unless you want a specific orientation to be the top. Next, simply put some glue down and stick it in place. I prefer hot glue, but if using super glue or similar, I recommend adding some lines around the edges of the cardboard and a few drops or lines in the center, and sticking the foam down quickly, lightly pressing, rippled side out if applicable. Make sure you don't go overboard with glue, especially if using something liquid, as too much may absorb into the foam and, well, lessen its sound dampening properties. Next, I recommend doing the back of the box. It's the same thing as top. Measure and then glue. This time I am simply using hot glue because of it being the quickest and still being rather strong. Once that is done, measure and cut the sides and glue the same. Actually, in all, you can do it whatever order you want. That's just the order that I did for this specific box. And that's pretty much all there is to this. The bottom specifically remains foamless to give a solid support to the mic. However, for better sound dampening, you could cut a hole just big enough for the mic's base, or alternatively, a foam sheet with a slit in it can be used for a more universal bottom layer. Now, to make the box look a bit better, a simple coat of paint can work wonders. or you can go a little more complicated with it, though I do recommend painting the box before adding the foam. Now for something a little more professional looking that you won't mind being on your desk, you can easily substitute the cardboard box with any other square container. I really do like the look of this wooden storage crate, and it only cost me about 10 bucks. Though the open sides will bleed through sound even with the foam padding, so I'm going to glue some cheap foam board inside to close them up and help keep sound out. I really didn't like the faded black color that the foam board inherently had, so I colored it a bit darker with some paint. For fun, completely unnecessary might I add, I'm going to use some red stain to give the crate a bit more color. After gluing the foam board in place, all that's left is adding the foam just the same as with the cardboard box. And that's it. Something not too bad looking to keep on your desk and can help improve your mic's recording quality exceptionally, especially in suboptimal environments. So let's give it a shot. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what it sounds like with the mic actually contained inside of the mic box. Now, it might sound a little bit flat, but that's actually what we want. We want a very neutral sound that we can use to modify in post and make it sound a little bit more like this when we add some compression, some equalization, normalize the volume, and maybe add back a little bit of reverberation to give a fullness to the voice. This is what the mic sounds like in the same exact spot in this room, but without a studio box. We're getting a lot of reverberation from the room's natural, very reflective acoustics. And because of that, we're just getting what would be considered a subpar sound quality, especially for something like singing where you want it very neutral so you can mix it in post. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It does mean a lot. And if you know someone that can benefit from a studio box like this and doesn't mind a little DIY, then share this video so they can get the best out of their setup. Please keep in mind that this video has been a couple of weeks in the making, and I do have a Patreon, and if anyone wants to support my Patreon, it is very much appreciated. It helps buy supplies for doing videos like this. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and thank you to my awesome Patrons whose support helped buy the materials used in this video, making it possible. If you want to also help support this channel like they have, please check out my Patreon page, which I will link in the description below. Alright guys, please let me know if this helped you out, and bye!